I'm going to ask you to think about your industry. I'm going to ask you to think about your industry, and I'm going to ask you to think about who do you really admire? Like, who is the pinnacle, right? In your space or your industry or your community or whatever that looks. Give me some of those names. Give me some of those names. All right, Melanie will call them out to me when they start coming in. Oh, Colin Cowell. Obviously, I'm not going to get every single one of them, but I just want you to take a moment and focus on this list. The ones I did capture were Colin Cowie and Jasmine Starr, Brene Brown, Amy Porterfield, Louise Hay, Mel Robbins, Brendan Burchard, Lisa Nichols, all different industries, right? Of course, I don't know if anybody said Tony Robbins, right? All different industries, all do some same, some different, all different industries, all do slightly different things. But I want you to take a look at this list, and you don't have to look at it up here. Of course, you can look at the list on just that people put in the chat. And I want you just to see the magnitude, right? See the magnitude of the people on that list. Take a moment, and I want you to recognize something. They are all very different. They all do different things. They all have a lot of different angles. They all teach a lot of different things. They all write about a lot of different things. But here is the one thing every single one of them has in common. They speak. The one thing that every single one of them does is speak. Let's just go through this. Brene Brown, she wrote a book, but what did she become famous because of? Her TED Talk. Louise Hay, she put her books in the back of her trunk, and she went from bookstore to bookstore, and she got people to take them, but she did small speaking gigs, and then of course spoke on huge stages. Tony Robbins, let's connect Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn, whoever, I put it somewhere. If you connect Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn, there's a great story there. Tony Robbins heard Jim Rohn speak somewhere, and Jim Rohn said, I built this business by doing 3 speaking gigs a week. That's the single thing I did to grow this business. Tony Robbins heard that, and he said, I wonder what I could build if I did 3 speaking gigs a day. We know the answer to that. Some of these people wrote a book, but what made them known was the speaking that came off of that book. I am telling you, you can do everything else in the world, but it will not work if you don't do speaking. Give me a hell yeah in the chat. Every single person on here, you know them, you admire them, you respect them because they speak, because they use speaking as a strategy.